this. It's a lot of names on my hit list. Mom still say what he wants to. Pussy still wet like a big bitch.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
There is no good company. Some are just better at handling their mess with the press. And I don't understand why labels get praised for doing the bare minimum either. Like, why are y'all congratulating them for allowing someone to sit out due to health or mental issues? Companies that have been doing that, but anyways. I don't get being a company stan either. You can be a fan of the group, but why the company? What have they done for you? I'm lost. I always thought the whole IGSM big hit stan thing was stupid and giving too much credit to these greedy ass companies. We don't know these people. They sing and dance for us and that's it. It doesn't matter how much they show to us on camera, so we can quote unquote get to know them better. At the end of the day, we have never met these people and most likely never will. Was a Sumni situation not a lesson? I think I need to ask collectively why fans are so comfortable with putting labels on these kids when they could be the complete opposite. Some idols could be the nicest people you'll ever come across, but some are not like that. There's a reason as to why we know so much yet so little about these people we obsess over. Some people might think I'm being too harsh, but I'm not saying this to make friends. It puzzles me when peeps get so comfortable assigning nicknames and calling these people by their first names or going on about who's top or bottom. I'm sorry, but why? Is that your business to know what they into? Some of y'all are just weird. If Blackpink had frequent comebacks, they wouldn't be as big as they are now. I wholeheartedly believe this. Sure, they would still be popular because they are under the big three, but Blink's being starved of content explains why they are so desperate for literally anything the group pushes out. That leads to anything they do being successful and their views skyrocket from it. Here's a question for you. If Blackpink didn't wait a year to release D4, do you think it would have reached 1 billion views so quickly? I ain't trying to shade. I'm just asking this to see if you're following what I'm saying. I still think they would have been big, but YG's starvation method contributed to their success for sure. I'm literally so tired of Blancs shoving views and brand deals in people's faces when that doesn't mean shit. I mean, is that all you got? It's not doing anything for you or the reputation of your fandom. So cool it. Visuals do matter. They always have, and they always will. And anyone who says they don't is lying through their teeth. Listen y'all. We are dealing with a country that puts so much value on looks, it's crazy. In Korea you can make a better living for yourself if you're good looking. And it's the same for the K-pop industry. A quote unquote all visual group with subpar talent will do better on the charts than a more talented group with less visually appealing members. Now sometimes Korea decides to be smart and give actually talented groups attention, but oftentimes it's a person's looks that get a crowd to tune in. And to the people out here who think they're quirky because they don't stand for visuals or that they don't care about looks need to take several seats because I don't wanna hear it. You can save it for your oppa that you're never gonna meet. We are human beings after all, and humans are attracted to pretty things. Which leads me to my next point. All idols, in one way or another, have gotten plastic surgery in one way or form. I can tell you that pretty much every idol got double eyelid surgery. There are exceptions, but those exceptions aren't the standard. And don't even get me started on the nose jobs. Some work is just plain obvious, yet you'll keep arguing about who did or didn't get shit done. They all did, so what are you all really trying to say? Blink's Lisa got a nose job. Point blank period. Ravel loves Irene's face isn't all natural. Point blank period. I'm not using examples to be mean. I'm using it to get through to you. And another thing. Admitting that idols got work done doesn't mean they're any less beautiful or handsome. It's simply just realizing that they weren't born perfect, but for some reason you'll hate the truth. K-pop isn't really about the music and we all know it. If you're just here for the music then that's fine, but as a whole the industry is entertainment. There are so many facets to it, and music isn't really the most important factor when it comes to a group. Actually, I'd say that marketability is the most important factor when choosing which trainees get to debut. Some idols ain't that talented, but they visually appealing, or their personalities appeal to the public. I don't know, some shit like that. A group can have amazing music, but the music ain't the only thing that draws people in. You'll get the point. Groups aren't always as close as you think they are. Yes, some really might be as close as they seem, but some are merely co-workers, and that's fine. Some of you forget, but being an idol is a job and your members are colleagues. Since groups are often formed inorganically, I can see how some peeps wouldn't be that close. Add living under the same roof with half strangers, and differing personalities, and things might get heated. But y'all shouldn't overanalyze either. That shit is annoying, and a waste of time, because at the end of the day we don't really know, unless the idols say themselves. Dating and K-pop will never be accepted as a whole. Now I know that there's a good chunk of fans that know and understand that idols aren't objects who belong to them. But the thing is with idols, a huge part of their appeal is their quote-unquote availability. Companies create this illusion that their idols are these perfect boyfriends and girlfriends who are just waiting to date you. We've seen what happened to idols in the past who had dating scandals. Dating scandals now don't receive as much scrutiny as back then, but it will never be something that becomes widely accepted by the industry. The genre and the companies thrive too much from this. If all idols were allowed to be in public relationships, their value would go down immensely. Maybe you would still be a fan of them, but the majority of Korea wouldn't. It's nice wishful thinking, but sadly this will never be a thing. There are idols that are members of the LGBTQ+ community, but we will probably never know who they are. We can speculate, but we'll never really know for sure. I know there are a few decently known people in Korea that were out of the box, but it ended up being detrimental to their career in the long run. If less famous people came out and got negative responses, why would an idol? An idol's image is perfectly crafted to appeal to a particular demographic. And while Korea is slowly accepting liberal ideas, it is still frowned upon to come out or consider yourself a part of the LGBTQ community. It would honestly hurt them more if celebrities disclose that part of themselves, so it would be better if they keep that part of themselves hidden away from the public. If we actually did know exactly who is gay and lesbian, I think a lot of fans would be surprised. We are so used to assuming that all men are heterosexual when in reality there's different varieties. I can't imagine how painful it must be to be in a country that doesn't accept who you are and disrespects people that are just like you. Most K-pop songs aren't that deep. Hold up. I gotta explain this so my words don't get twisted. I didn't say that all songs don't have meaning. I said most of them. I'm aware that some groups write or sing songs about actually meaningful stuff like bullying, suicide, loneliness, or anxiety, and that's amazing. But I have to say, some of you need to stop acting like every damn release has a hidden meaning. Sometimes it's just a dance track, Karen. Some idols don't get lines cause they can't sing, or their voice doesn't fit the song. Listen, I get wanting to see your fave in the spotlight, but sometimes they ain't it vocally. As the producer of a song, I would give the most challenging lines to the main or lead vocalists, because they are the most technically trained to pull them off. I mean, why would someone give a show-stopping high note to a member that can't even hold a note? Like, you all really want your fave to get more lines at the expense of a good song? Make it make sense. Listening to the demos for some K-pop songs really sometimes show who fit a line the best. Sorry to say, but your fave won't always get lines, but it's for the best 9 times out of 10. Idols aren't always okay. They just pretend they are, so their fans don't worry about them, and that's honestly sad. It's really scary how we don't know what our faves are going through. Sometimes idols decide to be open, but even then we don't know the full story. Whenever an idol takes their own life, it becomes so surreal, because it reminds us how fucked up this industry is. Being an idol ain't no joke, and I honestly applaud anyone who survives in an industry as harsh and cutthroat as this one. They really don't get enough credit for the shit they get put through. On God, they have my respect. K-pop is a phase, and I don't want to hear any obsessive armies talking about how they'll love BTS until they die. One day this whole world just isn't gonna click for you anymore. Sure, there are some people who remain K-pop fans for years, but in general, that is not the case. It may seem like you're in this forever, but eventually you will move on with your life, and the idols you love so dearly will be a distant memory. It's sad but true. Thank your faves for the memories though.